The 9 Years Podcast.
All right, everybody. It's Thursday, the 9th of June. Welcome to the show. I'm Nick Draper, joined as always by Stuart Deakins. Hello there. Thank you for listening. We are the 9 Years Podcast, the nation's favourite AFC Wimbledon podcast. And we can now say officially an iTunes Top 100 podcast in the sports and hobbies section. But thank you so much to all of you for listening and making the show such a success, despite the fact I apparently cannot get my words out properly. We do appreciate all your support, messages and all the feedback that have been flooding in as of late. So thank you especially to those of you that added a 5-star rating to our iTunes page and added a review as well. Those are greatly appreciated and they take about 30 seconds of your time as well. So if you haven't already added yours, please do so. I mean, it really does only take 30 seconds. There's not a lot else really you can do in that time. Well, okay, it takes me 30 seconds to do a number of things, but in reality, Stu, what can you do in half a minute?
There's not much I can do in 30 seconds, to be fair. Nick, what exactly can you do at that time?
Right, I'm going to stop it there. Stu, I scripted that line. That was, that was shocking acting. And this is going in. Okay, we're not restarting this now. That is going in as it is. So let's just repeat that line one more time. If you do it the same style as before, that's perfect, that's fine, that's great.
Cool. So, there's not much I can do in 30 seconds, to be fair. Nick, what exactly can you do at that time?
Well, Stu, I think your mind's in the gutter. I know what you're thinking. But there's loads of things I can do in 30 seconds.
Such as?
Such as, Stu, tying my shoelaces, tweeting messages of support to Paige from WWE, of course. Eating a hobnob, for instance.
You can't eat a hobnob in 30 seconds, Nick.
Yes, Stu, you can eat a hobnob in 30 seconds. It's very dry, but it is doable. In fact, I think I could do it in less than 30 seconds. I could do it in about 26, 27 seconds.
What, fully eating and not choking and spitting it out?
No, I mean, that's something else. But in terms of a hobnob, no, I would be able to munch on it and swallow all of it. 26, 27 seconds, I reckon.
What about a cream cracker?
That's a different ball game.
No, it's a cracker. Very
good. I don't know. Shall we try it? Shall I try eating a cream cracker and see how long it takes me?
There's loads of these little games, isn't there? We should, to be fair, during the summer, because it's so boring, there's no football, we should do these little challenges. People should send them into our YouTube or Twitter. There's the cream cracker. There's also the cinnamon one as well, isn't there?
I don't know.
You've not seen that one?
No. What's that?
Basically, it makes your mouth dry. I think you're supposed to put so much cinnamon in your mouth or something like that.
Right.
You see people on YouTube do it, and basically their mouth just goes so dry, and they end up coughing again. It's quite fun. So if anyone's bored and can't think of anything else to do, then sure, send them into ourselves at Twitter.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will take up the hobnob challenge to prove how quickly I can eat a hobnob. Okay, and then after that, I'll do the cream cracker challenge.
Cool.
And then Stu, what would you do?
I'll be watching.
Brilliant.
I'll be the referee.
Can you referee? I suppose you can be the sort of independent adjudicator.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. We'll do that then. We'll get that up. We'll do that over the summer at some point. Twitter and Facebook, whatever has you. Instagram as well. The lengths we go to for our listeners, I tell you.
John Green here. Thanks for listening to today's show, and don't forget to be awesome.
Right, this is episode 47, and the last edition of the season, of the 2015-16 season. So we thought it makes sense to do our sort of season review show, our end of the season chat. So we're going to look back at some of our memories of the past, what is it? Should we say 9 months? It is that roughly, isn't it? We might stretch it to 10, but...
Yeah, it's been a long season, mate, hasn't it?
It has been a long season. And once we've done that, we'll go through all the usual features, of course. We have birthdays. We do have stickers, despite the fact I pretty much forgot to buy any stickers, but we've sorted that now, so we're good. We're good to go. And a few other bits and pieces as well to update you with. But let's get into it, Stu. End of the season. I've got a list of perhaps things we can put together, sort of our favourite memories, moments, best players, worst players, biggest disappointments, all those sorts of things. Should we do these at random? I've actually got a list of 5 things here to talk about. Do you want to pick a number between 1 and 5? and I will choose that one to start with.
Yeah, let's go for Barry Fuller's number 2.
Number 2. You like a number 2?
Well, sometimes near number 2, but hey, Barry Fuller runs around like he needs a number 2, but hey.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he runs straight off the pitch, straight into the gents at the end of the game. Right, number 2 is our least favourite games of the season, Stu. So let's look at, maybe if we come up with maybe 2 or 3 each. Least favourite moments or games of the season just gone. It's actually a pretty good one to start with. Because there wasn't that many looking back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, games or moments. To be fair, my least favourite game probably comes in also my least favourite moment as well, to be fair. So,
Which is
a Cambridge at home.
Okay.
When we bossed them for 45 minutes, scored a goal, if I remember correctly, before half-time.
We did, Tom Elliott, yeah.
And then within a moment of probably, 2 or 3 minutes, we conceded 2 set pieces and we're 2-1 down. So that probably was my horrible moment, because we also had the sort of Plymouth, didn't we, as well, beginning of the season, where we played them off the park. And that was a moment I thought that we weren't strong enough at the back, believe it or not.
But then we did make some adjustments in that area as the season went on, especially towards the end of the season. But yeah, I think Plymouth was one where, and Cambridge was 2 games, our first 2 home games of the season, actually, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
You always start the season, you're on a bit of an up, you're on a high, you've got new players coming in. We were excited about Andy Bartram and Lyle Taylor, and you get Plymouth on the opening day and you get sucker punched. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. It was a bit of a low feeling after that. Surely we have to think about also FA Cup and Forest Green as being a low moment. To be knocked out.
Yeah.
I can't remember if this is true or not, but I don't recall many times us losing to a team lower in the pyramid than ourselves. Maybe in some of the old county cup, non-league league cup ties we had. But first time, I think, as a football league team, we'd actually played a non-league side, and we got...
Yeah, they were doing well, weren't they? Forest Green was a weird game, because we sat in the John Green stand, didn't we, for the first time? Sorry,
we did. I've only just spotted the link that we sat in the John Green stand for Forest Green.
Yes.
I've only just spotted that, yeah.
Yeah, so we sat in there. So I was just too busy sort of looking around thinking, this could be all right for next season. And wasn't really, I'll be totally truthful, wasn't really paying much attention to the game, because the game wasn't the greatest, was it?
No, there wasn't a lot going on, to be fair. We didn't play particularly great either.
No, it just felt really weird tempo for the game. It's sort of, the weird thing is, it was sandwiched in between, I'm looking here actually, it was sandwiched in between a Cambridge away win, the 4-1 win. No, it wasn't. I'm lying.
No, you had to be lying there, surely.
Do you know what? For some reason, right, I thought the official site hadn't put in the FA Cup game. And then realised I'm looking at the beginning of January, which is the FA Cup third round. Sorry, that was last season against Liverpool.
Yes.
So we won 2-0 at home to Hartlepool the week before, and then went away and drew Pompey. So we weren't really in that bad form. I didn't think Forest Green were that great. But it just seemed to be a little bit of a... There was no real atmosphere at the ground, was it? It was a weird game.
There's no urgency, was there? No tempo, and you're right, no atmosphere either. Everything you sort of look for as a non-league team going away to a league team that you'd want to try and cause an upset.
Yeah, and they were running. I think they were running away with the league at that time, weren't they? As well.
Yeah, they were up there. Yeah.
Yeah, you got Big John Parkin up front. From memory, I don't think he started. Yeah, they obviously didn't get promoted in the end either, so they obviously ran out of energy and got pipped in the playoff final against Grimsby, didn't they? Which, to be fair, I wasn't too happy about that, because I thought Forest Green would be a nice trip to go to next season. But that's all immaterial now.
It's nothing against Forest Green, but I was quite happy, because I've mentioned on the show before, I was quite happy to see an old, proper Football League team that I consider Grimsby Speed to come back in. I was quite happy to see them come back up. Now we need to get more of them back in, I think. Lincoln's
it's not a nice place to go to, Nick, to be fair. Last time I went there was in... I didn't go when they won the conference. I didn't go there. But my last experience was in a championship game where they threw coins at us, because the home and away end was basically side by side, and the stewards claiming they couldn't see they were throwing coins, even though when I pointed to the floor, there was loads of 2p's and pennies, no pound coins, because of course no one's going to be tight enough to throw away a pound coin up that neck of the woods.
They wouldn't have had pound coins to throw away.
No, exactly. So Grimsby, I wasn't really... My last experience of Grimsby it was too far north, and it just wasn't really that enjoyable. But Forest Green I would have loved to have gone to be fair.
The interesting thing about Grimsby was the last time I went, I don't think it was the same time, but it was the last time we played them, I think, as the old Wimbledon FC in the Championship as it is now. And we lost 6-2 there. Famously remembered for, I think we had a sending off and then Shane Gore went in goal, saved a penalty, but then the penalty had to be retaken and we ended up losing 6-2. It was a horrible, horrible day.
That wasn't midweek, was it?
That was a Saturday one, yeah.
Yeah, my one was definitely midweek because I just remember it taking so long to get up there.
Imagine Grimsby midweek. Ugh.
It would have happened, but hey, we haven't got to face that this year or next year.
How do we know that for sure? We might have to.
Okay, don't burst my bubble.
Sorry, I'll try not to. Right, that's least favourite games out of the way. We were trying to stay away from any Morecambe 5-2s or Stevenage home defeats or Dagenham home defeats, which all seem to hinge on either an injured goalkeeper or, quite frankly, a terrible goalkeeper in both of those instances.
Dagenham can't count though, can it? Because we did have a legitimate goalkeeper, did we?
No, same for Stevenage. And the winning goals in both of those, he basically scored himself.
Yeah. He's obviously a keeper who likes to get on the score sheet in some way or another.
Maybe that's what he's thinking. He's trying to grab the headlines one way or another.
Oh, bless him. Bless him, Mr. Wilson.
Bless him. He came from Cardiff, didn't he?
He did.
Well, Skis, to be fair, at least Cardiff this season, not a particularly memorable game. I wouldn't say it was one of my favourites or my least favourites, but at least it was a new ground for myself.
Yeah, it was. It was nice. It was a nice evening, if that makes... It was interesting, was it? Because the one thing that struck me about Cardiff was it just looked very much like a bog-standard new ground.
Flat-pack ground, yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing... The only thing that was different about it was they had loads of Welsh flags and University of Cardiff, if I remember properly.
Yes, yeah. That's
logos and stuff. But no one turned up. I suppose that's the thing. I suppose with the League Cup is that you're going to these big grounds, but the fans don't really take to the cup games anymore, do they, in the early rounds?
No.
So it's really weird. So that's one of the good. Obviously, I know we're reviewing this season, but sort of next season will be great when we go to these grounds and actually they take it seriously or think actually it's a league game and we're bothered turning up and having a bit of an atmosphere.
Yeah, you're thinking like the Charltons of this world and Boltons and people like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, but kind of nice. It was a nice, but like I say, it reminded me of the bog standard grounds, which I really hope we don't fall into for Plough Lane, and I'm sure we won't because obviously we've seen the plans.
We've got something a little bit more unique, I think.
Yes.
So I think the location sort of demands that, doesn't it? You can't get away from that because of
definitely
the land you've got to play with.
Yeah, you're right. If we had loads of land, we probably would have that bog standard thing. So maybe actually we're lucky where it's going to be built. That you're right. We have to be a bit more imaginative and make it a bit more unique. So when you go to the ground or you look on TV, you go, "That's Wimbledon." Not it could be Derby, could be them sort of ones, Bolton or stuff like that.
Yeah, the ones that all do look the same. The Southamptons and Sunderlands, which I still get mixed up. But
yes, yeah.
Right, that was number 2 on my list. Then, so pick another number, Stu, between 1 and 5. We'll move on to the next one.
Number 5.
Number 5. Now, this is a general League 2 question, so we're going to look at other teams in the division. All right. So we've already mentioned one team that I think might feature in this list. So let's start off with biggest disappointments in terms of who are you least impressed with, you were expecting more from when we played them, and then generally their finishing position in the league would have been considered a major disappointment. There's a couple that stand out on this one.
Yeah, I've got 3, and they'll probably be on everyone's list anyway. But my biggest underachievers were Luton Town.
No, you're wrong.
Luton Town, big underachievers. Notts County.
Yeah.
To be fair, they treated Notts County were a lovely club last year because they welcomed everybody to county grounds and just chucked 3 points in their back pockets on the way out. But they shouldn't. The squad they've got, if you look through the squad and the experience they had in that team, it's ridiculous that they were literally. Well, if they hadn't got a lot of earlier points in the season, they probably would have been struggling for relegation.
Yeah.
And last one was Leyton Orient, really.
Okay.
Shame, obviously, a turmoil behind the scenes, but again, when you look at, they had Jay Simpson up front who scored. Well, was he still a top goal scorer? He was, wasn't
he? Yeah, I think he might have ended up actually. Yes, at the end of it all. Yeah, I can't think who would have come above him.
No, most of them before Christmas, before the turmoil kicks in.
Yeah,
I just felt again the team Leyton Orient had on, the experience and the money spent in that team. If I was a Leyton Orient fan, I'd be really, really gutted. Gutted wouldn't be the word. I'd be really annoyed about how that team performed. So, yeah, they're the 3. Luton, like I say, not to wind you up, even though it's funny. But Luton, if you look again, that squad, that should have achieved a lot better. And if it stays together, possibly should do better next year.
I'm going to suggest they will definitely do better next year. In terms of a manager having a disappointing season, John Still must have had a terrible year. He got sacked from his job at Luton because they were underperforming. He went over and took over Dagenham and Richmond, and they've ended up back in non-league under his management. So,
yeah, and also Ronnie Moran up at Hartlepool. I said I thought they would do all right this season because he had a good track record at Tranmere before he got sacked there and done well. He went to Hartlepool in the season, but yeah, didn't do much up there really as well. So, some big managers in League Two, isn't there? Really,
there are some big names. Cambridge United, someone you mentioned earlier. For me, considering we went into the season, they were throwing FA Cup money around, not no one's business, major disappointment. And having seen them as well, never been impressed. Every time we've played Cambridge, I don't think I've ever been impressed with them. Maybe once when they had the Palace guy on loan with them. Was it Kai? Something like that?
Yeah. Kai. I must be one of the ones that I'm hoping we go for this season because he's a special. I say special talent. Yeah, I don't think he's good enough to get in a Palace team because he's 5'0". But Kai's been doing the loans. I think he was trying to know he was at loan at a League One club. Might have been Burton if I'm remembering properly, but he's one that's probably going to go out alone as well. Cambridge are a weird team. Yeah, they went in very early on, didn't they? They basically got Core from Southend.
Yeah,
they got Leon Legg.
They got Roberts in.
Yeah, they really took some big players early on, didn't they? Did they take Drury as well? Did they? No, I'm trying. They took a midfielder that I really like as well. I'll look at the squad in a minute. Mm-hmm. But they've done a lot of their business really early on. And to get Core away from Southend, who just got promoted, Leon Legg, who I understand we were in for until Cambridge showed their hand. But again, they started off all right, didn't they? But never really got any momentum going.
No, never. It was always, as you say, just getting momentum going. They might put a couple of wins together and then they'd be back falling behind again. So I think they would. I don't know what to expect from them next season. I don't know if they've sort of splashed the cash and gone for it this season and just totally missed out and they're back to square one next season. I think that might be the case for them. So,
well, the rumor was that they didn't spend much for the FA Cup money. They said that when they had the game against United, they basically encouraged people to buy longer season tickets, like 5-year season tickets.
That's quite smart.
Yeah, so if you watch their ground now, they actually have a lot more fans in the ground, but that's not because of the opposition. That's, I think, because they've been roped into the season ticket. Which, don't get me wrong, if you're going to be smart, do it that way. But from what they were saying, they haven't spent all that FA Cup money. But if you were a Cambridge United fan or even one behind the scenes, you'd be thinking, well, it didn't work last year, so are we going to chuck more money, to do what we did last year or go a different avenue?
It's going to be interesting to actually see next season because there's a lot of clubs that perhaps were aiming for promotion, like you've mentioned Leyton Orient, who didn't factor into my thinking actually. Obviously, we'll have to mention Plymouth, who would have been expecting to go up automatically. Portsmouth as well.
They probably didn't underachieve because they got into a promotion opportunity, didn't they? I suppose you probably, although Plymouth fans are quite expectant, aren't they? I suppose they probably were looking at top three, but I wouldn't say Plymouth underachieved, judging on how strong the top three were this year. But
it does make for an interesting league next year, doesn't it? When you look at the likes of Plymouth and Portsmouth and Leyton Orient and Cambridge, like we've mentioned. Another big promotion race next year, Luton, of course.
Yeah, Paul Cook at Pompey, really. It was interesting what he said when he got to the playoffs, because he was basically saying that he felt that was a successful season. But I don't know. I think the Pompey fans, Paul Cook was brought in there to get promotion. Paul Cook's got to start the season off pretty well next year, otherwise the Pompey faithful will be on his case, because they really thought he was a big enough name. He got Gary Roberts in, didn't he? Who I think is a quality player in League Two. He's the sort of player that I would love us to try and tempt. Sort of our strategy now, I'd love us to be a strategy of trying to nick the best non-league and some of the better players in League Two. Not the ones that are probably going to bypass League One and go to Championship, but there are some League Two players there that we might be able to maybe just nick, who we would never got anywhere near of when we were in the same division.
Previously, yeah.
But Gary Roberts is an excellent player.
He is. And to be fair, at the start of the season, if you were to look back at pre-season predictions, you'd probably say Portsmouth, Plymouth and Luton were all in our thinking of going up automatically, and none of them have. But anyway, that is the way football goes, I suppose. I think we also rubbished Oxford's chances completely.
I did. Yeah,
I did. I remember doing that. And there we go. It shows you what we actually know, don't we? Who would you say? Would you consider them to be the biggest overachievers this season? Aside from, you'd probably have to say Accrington Stanley in most people's thinking. Although when you look at Accrington's squad, there's a lot of quality in there.
Yeah, I think you've got to say Accrington have got to be the overachievers massively because of what they did. You know, they did have crooks. They obviously got Windass, didn't they? But if you look at the squad and where it's been, all right, we all know about Billy Key was at Burton, probably one that I would love to have come to our place. But I think you wouldn't have expected them to be in the top. Well, unfortunately, not trying to wind them up again, but top three. We wouldn't expect them to be top three or roundabouts that all season. They've got to be the overachievers. In the end, Oxford recruited really well. There was probably a few names that we weren't aware of. If bearing in mind that when we laughed about Appleton, his record of how does he get a job, how does he keep getting a job on no success? But he went to West Brom, didn't he? Made their reserve team and then brought in a player that now is now wanted. Back at that level. So you've got to say either he's got a great mate at West Brom who's done him a favour, or he's actually scouted really well.
I think he's done a good job, to be fair. Anyone else in the league that you think perhaps would have been happier with their season than perhaps expecting? I'm not sure, off the top of my head. I think that's probably...
No, because I think it's just such a lot of... you think about the Wickhams of this world and stuff like that. They expected to be in the playoffs, didn't they? So Exeter had a good average season. Their budget's getting lower and lower every year. They rely on their academy heavily. Yeah. They've done that again. So I would say...
Bristol Rovers
just come in on a... Again, I suppose it's recruitment, isn't it? They picked up Taylor during the summer.
Yeah, massive.
Look at the goals he got. But again, you look at their squad and you go, was that really a top three team? I don't know. I think, I didn't go to the Christmas game, but by all accounts, we were down to 10 men wrongfully and held our own. And the away game, we were still in the game, and then Bayo got himself sent off, and we ended up chasing the game, losing 3-1. But I wouldn't say they were miles better than us, but they hit a run, and when they hit that run, they went away from people, didn't they? Very much like we did chasing the playoffs late on.
In the final stretches, yeah. Who was the best player then, do you think you saw? Opposition player that we came up against this season?
I loved Matt Crooks at Accrington.
Yeah. Central
midfielder, I thought, when he played against us at the home game in the league, obviously, thankfully, he was injured and nursing himself for the Rangers moved for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I thought he bossed the midfield against us. He looked a definite talent. I really, really liked McHugh at Plymouth. It didn't do much, to be fair. We stifled Plymouth in the playoff final. But I don't think that was down to McHugh playing poorly. I just think we were better at the midfield. We bossed them. But I like McHugh. I think he's an experienced Scottish. He's a Scottish midfielder who likes a challenge. Doesn't look like he's got much of a sense of humour. Doesn't like losing, like that sort of people. And then Luton McKeon.
Yeah.
Who, if Luton keep hold of him, I think he's an excellent player.
I have a feeling that they are likely to keep hold of him, and he is a quality player. But you'd expect me to say it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I don't like saying Luton are too good because obviously it means that you can talk about them. But we should get his hair cut. His hair's a bit out of control.
Leave his hair alone, Stu. All right, I don't think you're in a position.
It's like an old Dave Besson perm, isn't it?
It is a little bit, to be fair. Do you remember the old Sutton United number 5 who looked a bit like Dave Besson?
Yeah, I do.
How many years is that going back?
What was his name?
I have no idea. Number 5.
Yeah, I think he had a big nose as well. I think we were struggling to know what to take Mick out of first.
I think we had an abundance of options, to be fair. But
we're now further away from. I used to love the last time we sung "You Get All the Pies" and "You Love His Pies." I think the last time I heard that was at Southend for the Southend Physio.
Oh yeah.
Now we're moving up in the division. We're not going to hear that song many times, are we?
No, but we should. We'll still have it, I imagine.
All the old songs and abuse. We're getting further away from that. What's going on?
We're definitely, when we got to Bolton or something, there's bound to be an opportunity for something like that.
That'd just be the accent, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, true. Fair point. Can I just throw in, we mentioned there about Plymouth, Jake Jervis, we got to grips with him in the second half of our games against them.
Yeah.
But in the first two, in the Johnson Pates Trophy and the league game on the opening day, he looked a class apart, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree. The more I think about Plymouth, obviously we beat them in the final and stuff. I felt every time we played them, we sort of worked them out more and more.
Yeah.
So I think a lot to do with the Plymouth team was how the manager set him up early on, and I think he caught a lot of people by surprise. And it's probably no surprise in a way if you look at their form past Christmas, the second round of games that probably teams worked out how to at least stop Plymouth playing. Do you know what I mean? But I think their manager got a formation so spot on for sort of players like Jervis and that. But then if you listen again, it's really weird. You listen to Plymouth fans and they're slating Jervis.
I can imagine. I could probably guess why though. He'd probably strike him as the sort of player that when he's not on it, he's not noticeable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, when he's on form, I suppose when you let him play, which we did, didn't we, that time? He was a handful, wasn't he?
Yeah. We really struggled, especially in that Johnson Pace game. But anyway, should we move on to the next one then?
Yeah.
I think you've got numbers 1, 3, and 4 left to choose from.
Let's go for number 4.
Number 4. Your Paul Robinson cleaned up, didn't he, with and Barry Fuller Player of the Year awards at the club this season. Who was your personal pick for Player of the Year? Did you agree with those?
Yeah, me personally, thought Jake Reeves was a standout. I think this year we saw Jackie Reeves. How can I call
As you keep calling him, Jackie. Yeah,
Jackie Reeves. He turned into a promising player, into I think a player that realised that he actually can play at this level and probably a level above. He just from about September, October, he started taking games by the scruff of the neck. Mm-hmm. Actually wanted to say, I'm going to dictate this, because we were sometimes playing 2 against a 3 in midfield, so the legs and that. There was a comment I think in Holland someone made when they said he's a sort of player that he runs the game, he runs all round and then runs off home or something. Someone made a comment. Dave Anderson did,
yeah.
And it just made me chuckle. But you're right, the bloke covers every blade of grass and works so hard. And I thought, beginning of the season, I thought some fans got on his back because he wanted to be so involved in the game that he kept playing passes that he shouldn't.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But I didn't think that was something you could slaughter him for. I thought that was great. You want players that when it's not going right for you to want the ball, because it's always easy. Everyone wants the ball when it's going well. And I'll give you an example, and not to slate him, but I think Andy Bartram is a player that wants the ball when he's playing well.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't necessarily want it when he's not got a great touch or he's not. He's got his fullback on him. So I thought Jake Reeves for me was a player that was outstanding. But I would say closely behind was Paul Robinson for me.
I think sometimes we sometimes overlook goal scorers because we think it's too obvious, and we sometimes think we want to pay respects to the players that maybe not get the headlines as often. But Lyle Taylor got 23 goals at the end of this season. Yeah, essentially won us the playoff final with that goal. I think he's got to be in the running for it as well. It's a massive mention.
I don't think he's that good though, to be fair, and I'm hoping that all the scouts are listening to this podcast. He's rubbish. Doesn't run much. He's got an over-exaggerated touch. He's rubbish. Leave him alone for next season.
The 9 News podcast is, of course, listened to by many Premier League scouts. We know that all the big teams, Manchester United, Liverpool, Liverpool, they're not a big club, sorry. Oops.
Slip of the tongue then.
Yeah, slip of the tongue, sorry. Luton, all the big clubs, they listen to the podcast. So, yeah.
Liverpool and Luton in the same categories. They've got the same start letter, but that's about as close as they are.
Hey, that was a great FA Cup game a few years ago. 5-3 at Kenilworth Road. Classic.
What? On the plastic pitch?
No, this was not... It was only about 10 years ago, when Liverpool visited. 5-3. Do you remember Xabi Alonso scored from the halfway line?
Yes, I do remember it, yes.
Yeah, great game. Cracking game. So there you go. But not as close as we came to beating Liverpool in the FA Cup last season, I hasten to add.
Definitely.
Yeah. Right, last clue then. 1 or 3?
1.
Favourite games apart from the playoffs, because that would just be too obvious.
Cool. So I've got a couple. I really enjoyed Crawley away.
Yeah, damn. You've damn.
Is that one of your choices?
One. I was thinking Stu won't go for Crawley away. Yes, we did. But that was a great day. First win of the season. Yeah,
I think it's first win of the season. Of course, it's round a corner from me, so yes, it wasn't far away. I just felt it was a lovely summer's afternoon. We took loads there, didn't we? It felt like a home game. And I just remember, I just thought the second half, scored the goals, the stupid celebrations and all that sort of stuff. I just thought we took over Crawley, and it was a really pleasant. So that was one of my favourite games this season. Yeah,
definitely. I just agree with you for atmosphere and things like that. It was I very much enjoyed that away day. Wycombe, it was a nice away day. It's always nice when you win at Wycombe.
Yes.
Felt a bit sweeter this year for some reason. I'm not sure why. But again, the same reasons basically. It was a nice day. We took a lot of fans up there. Good atmosphere, great team performance, good victory. I guess I'm struggling. I don't really want to say Luton at home.
That's on my list.
No, I thought it might be.
Because Luton at the time, they were doing really well in the form guide. They were on form. And our goals were all set, from what memory, they were set pieces stuff, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And Luton looked handy that day. That wasn't a 4-1 game. That was never a 4-1 game.
No, we just took the chances.
A lot tighter. Luton, I've gone for both Notts County games.
Okay. Oh, good shout with, especially the home one.
Yeah, late one with Danny Ballman, and then Akinfenwa, which I loved the goal because it's just Akinfenwa literally getting on top of his defender, bullying him, flattening him on the floor, trying to do his stupid celebration that he... but the funny thing is, Bayo this year had that, if you remember the video, that he was going to do all these celebrations, and he did it once, I think.
I remember him doing it. I do remember him doing it at Notts County, yeah. He made a point of doing it then,
dance, I don't know.
Yeah, the whip. And Nene, whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too old for this now.
I know, exactly. And then the away game, because nice ground at County, really nice ground, and Tom Elliott scoring one of the goals of the season, top corner, and just win the game comfortably. But County, I just think just generally because obviously with McLeod and all that sort of razzmatazz around it. But yeah, they're 2 games that Luton at home.
And a similar vein, Crawley at home as well, actually. I know we said Crawley away, but Crawley at home late towards the end of the season when we got a late winner. It was Paul Robinson, wasn't it, with a header in front of the low end. That was a good moment in our chase for the playoffs. You enjoyed that one?
Definitely, yeah. And then, obviously, with Lane Orient as well, weren't they? We had to learn to play the pitch, didn't we?
Yes, at that time, yeah.
Yeah, so you're right, Crawley, for actually how important it was, yeah.
Which brings us on to our last thing to look at. Number 3, favourite and least favourite away grounds to visit this season.
Go on, do you want to start?
Luton.
What, worst away? Because Luton's on my list of the worst away ones.
How can it be on your worst, Stu?
Because it's just, you can't sit down.
Well, no, but you don't want to sit down on an away game. But
you can't see.
I can see perfectly. I very much enjoy my trips to Luton because, you know what, Luton's a proper old-school football ground where the atmosphere stays in.
Yeah, proper old. That's the old
And
bit.
It is proper old, yeah. It's going to be a shame when they move out of Kenilworth Road to their new stadium, hopefully, in Power Court.
Yeah, and do you know what? They need a new ground.
They do need it, yeah.
You know, and to be fair, we have a laugh about Luton, but they are a big-sized club in our League Two, and they need a new ground. They need to be able to develop and stuff like that.
I'm sure they will. I think their ground just haven't been able to sort of regenerate it since the days of when it was first built, when people were a lot shorter in those days, of course. Don't forget, we're a lot taller now, aren't we, as a species? Well, that'll be why. Yeah, that's my logic there, if you can follow that one. But, I'll leave you to decide that. Crawley is not a particularly nice place to visit in terms of least favourite away grounds. It was a great day we had there.
What was that? Sorry, Lorraine was mouthing something at me to say Bristol Rovers away.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
do you want to explain Bristol Rovers, why that's not a favourite? I think we've had this story before, but...
We have, yes. Lorraine decided the 3-0 game where it was chucking down rain, we sat in the marquee stand. That's what I called it, as a marquee, basically.
Marquee stand, yeah.
We found the only bit of the marquee that didn't have any cover, and the steward wouldn't let us move, so we got soaked. Lorraine didn't like the Portaloos. She has an issue with Portaloos. So she left at half time and then slipped over on her backside, and she doesn't like Bristol Rovers. But the good thing, like I say, is that she waited for me outside the away entrance, and we got away nice and quickly out of Bristol after a 3-0 reverse.
After our defeat, yeah. I mean, I think the thing with Bristol Rovers, and the same for Luton as well, is these grounds do have character, at least, because they're different and they're unique and they've got tradition and history, whereas Crawley, do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
Crawley just doesn't have any of that sort of atmosphere about it, which I think is... We're going to lose it, of course we are, it's the nature of things. We're going to lose these old school grounds that have these in place of the big new ones, but yeah, that's why I tend to favour the types of... Yeah, as I say, the Kenilworth Roads and...
Yeah, I agree. And Crawley actually has his own marquee end, has a marquee side, doesn't it?
Oh, it does now, yes, of course it does.
That side. I'll tell you what, Bristol Rovers, I do like Bristol Rovers for one reason, is their catering. They have the best pasties and the best pies at the ground. And I remember when we went there...
It all comes down to catering.
No, but you know what? They were so good that I know as many people that done the same as me, and I'm quite happy to say I had a pasty and went back for seconds, and there was loads that done that. and they sold out. But their pies are pretty good.
And of course, that's the great thing about us winning at Wembley is we're going back there next year.
Are we?
Yes, because they got promoted and so did we.
Sorry, you said Wembley. I was thinking, we're not going back to Wembley, are we?
No, sorry, yes, you know what I mean.
Sort
We're going,
of like
we're going back to Bristol Rovers. Well, we might get back to Wembley, but it's unlikely.
Oh, yeah, Wembley's just a dream. It's a great dream that I don't want to wake up from.
Leyton Orient, nice away day, same reason. Nice little ground, atmosphere stays in. We had the old traditional stand.
Yeah, Joe, Orient was on my list actually, but it should have been. You're right. It was we took loads there, didn't we?
Yeah, about 1,200. Yeah.
That's a shame actually. Yeah, I've waited for ages to go to Orient, and we bypassed them in the season.
Well, hey, at least you got there. There are some teams in non-league we bypassed completely without having that league game against, which would have been great. Like the league game against Sutton, the league game against Kingstonian, we bypassed them. So at least at Orient we got to play them.
We did, and yeah, I'm not trying to try and tempt fate either by saying what I was going to say there, so I'll leave that one alone.
Leave that one there. And finally, just to end on a ground that I was less keen on, we discussed this the other week, Barnet. Our fans that were in the terrace would have loved it because the terrace was a trampoline. It was great for creating atmosphere. For us in the press area without a roof or any communications available to us to do our jobs, not so good.
Yeah, I didn't go Barnet, but I heard a lot of, well, I don't think I heard anything good.
No.
With Barnet. Just on the grounds, I will miss is Carlisle. I've always wanted to do Carlisle.
I've forgotten. Yeah, we're not going to do that, are we?
Carlisle is probably the best train journey. It's 4 hours, but everyone is proper. Well, to be fair, everyone's proper drunk around you, and it's got the best fish and chip shops. Again, catering, not ground catering, but it's got the best. Anyone goes to Carlisle, always go and get some fish and chips near the train station, because when they talk about batter, that is proper batter.
What a great line. This week on the podcast.
I know you found that funny as well, but no, I always get fed up right when you have batter, it's really like horrible and crusty.
Are you actually saying these words?
No, but I had a sausage and batter, and the batter was probably the most fluffiest and lightest batter. It was a Michelin star level, I felt.
Oh man, we might have to stop recording because I'm in tears listening to this. This is brilliant. I don't even have to do any unnecessary censor for this. This just speaks for itself.
Trust me, it was
a sausage covered in batter.
It was
fluffy batter.
I think
you need to stop now. Wow.
Hang on, go Miss Carlisle.
Yeah, I know. I bet. You've got Fleetwood next season though, at least, and they do have the best chippy of all right next to the stadium, so you'll be all right.
They do. Fleetwood. You know what? The memory of Fleetwood is the playoff semi-final on a Friday night.
Yes.
The memory of our good friends Xavier and Mark Jones, and all coming off the alcohol-free coach, all coming off staggering out of the coach, the smell coming out of the coach, and all going to that chippy.
That chippy, which is amazing.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. It was probably the funniest moment, and the police just literally knew what was going on, but just let him get on with it.
Wow. Well, what a nice way to bring to an end our season review with Stu talking about his favourite battered sausages.
Trust me, anyone goes Carlisle, well, none of us are going to go Carlisle, but trust me, yeah, we're getting the FA Cup now.
Okay, all right, we look forward to that.
Hi, I'm John Green, author of Paper Towns, and when I'm not watching the Ellen DeGeneres Show or WWE Wrestling, I listen to the 9 Years podcast on iTunes.
Very, very quickly, we're not going to spend a great deal of time on this, time won't allow, but contract news, we've got bits and pieces just to update. All our fans are going to know these anyway, but were there any surprises in players, for you, Stu, that players that are going to be kept on for next season or players that have left? I'm not surprised, but I wonder about the longevity of some certain players that have been given the options to extend their careers at the club. I love Adebayo Aziz. I love him. But do we see much of a future of him now? Are there some of the youth players that we think maybe we just made that step up a little bit too quickly for them?
Difficult, isn't it? I was thinking back to this when I was chatting on one of the League One forums that I go on, and we were talking about the loan. I should talk about it today, actually, about the loan system changing next season.
Yeah.
And there's a few mentions of managers signing up a lot of youngsters and versatile players in number of positions because the loan ruling possibly means they're not going to be able to go and get short-term loans. So you sort of wonder whether we've had a view in that of we need to probably stockpile our teams with cheaper talent.
Yeah.
For words. So you've got to look at the people like Aziz, Danny Gallagher, Tom Beer, Fitzpatrick. You've got to look at them players going, and they're probably not going to be demanding a pay rise because, yes, they're in a higher division, but did they play much in the division? No. So I think that's probably why we've done it. Aziz, we've got to keep him purely for the song.
That's the only reason you want to keep him.
Because it creates a bit of atmosphere, in all seriousness. I just think Aziz gets better and better, and I think he's one of these players that he knows he's limited in his talent, and I mean that no disrespect. What I mean is he's not blessed with the most natural talent. He's had to work on those. But what he does do is he works his proverbials off. And if you look at him last summer, he obviously had a plan over the summer to keep himself fit and the weights, and he come back noticeably bigger, stronger. I think another summer of that. Unfortunately, we're not going to have as big a summer as we had last summer due to the playoffs. But I think you've got to give him another contract. I think it'd be mad to let him go and then see him go somewhere else to League Two or League One and continue that improvement. I think you've got to give him another contract.
In terms of some sort of transfer rumours and contracts maybe going to other players, targets for ourselves, I'm thinking on the lines of Kelly Roos. What do you think the chances are?
Well, do you know what? Kelly Roos can't. Whenever he talks, all he's talking about is he wants to come back to us, doesn't he? I've not heard anything of him saying he wants to fight for a place at Derby. He's sort of like as if the way the interviews are worded, and the way he's quoted, is basically saying that he believes Derby have got another year. He's got another year in his contract, and Derby are probably going to loan him out again. So he probably knows he's not going to have. I'm not saying any future there, but yeah, he's probably be loaned out. The difference is now is that, as we were just talking about the loan deals. The loan deal now, you can only recall a loan during the windows. So if Derby did loan him out, they'd have to do either a season loan with an option at the January window, or not at all. So Derby have to probably make a decision whether he's going to be in their plans. So that could be the problem. Do we try and sign him? Have we got the money? Do we see a goalkeeper being our biggest position, or do we think actually, do you know what? There's a lot of goalkeepers of Roos's Ike that we could probably get without having to go that way. But I'd love Roos to come back.
Do you mean Ilk?
Ike. I'm bunged up, as you can probably tell, with my hay fever. So
it's all that batter you're eating. Joe McDonnell got a contract extension. You're talking about goalkeepers. Was that a surprise?
Yeah, that one was. I don't know. That was an interesting one, isn't it? Because under 21s?
Possibly, yeah.
That's the only thing I can really think of, because James Shea... James Shea got released. Did he get released? No, we've not heard about James Shea.
Not heard any news on it.
We haven't, have we?
No, we're not, no.
That's the interesting... It's really weird. You sort of get caught up in the Wembley sort of moment, don't you? Then obviously you hear the news, but yeah, James Shane's name's not been mentioned. So I find it difficult to think we would keep him on the money that he probably was on.
Yeah.
Unless we offer him a deal with less money. Would he take that? You know, he's got a young kid, hasn't he, and stuff like that.
Interesting one to keep an eye on over the next few weeks.
Difficult. Yeah, difficult. But Danny Ball will get another contract. Great news. Let's time up. Let's time ones that are not on 2-year contracts onto 2 years. That's what I say now.
I think Danny Ball will still be playing when he's like 56 years old.
Yeah.
The next Peter Reid.
If ever you do a job interview for a new contract, that Wembley performance was like, "You'll give me another contract."
Yeah, he didn't have to say anything, did he? Just had to walk in and just sort of say, "Give me a contract."
You'd be a fool not to give him a contract after that one performance.
Definitely. Let's move on. We've got a lot to squeeze in the next 15 minutes or so. So let's start with, we've got 2 games going on over the summer that Paul Raymond's been organising for us, and yourself, and George Jones have been organising for us as well on social media. Do you want to explain your predictions going, first of all, for the Euro 2016 European Championships? Yeah,
it's just I had a brainwave on Monday, which is never good. Just thinking, actually, Joe, what Euros is, because Wembley was on the horizon, and sort of forgot about Euros because you put it to a back burner because Wembley was more important. And then suddenly thought, we've got Euros coming on, let's keep the football thing going. So gradually trying to contact as many of the people that I know or can get hold of, and we managed to get... Well, at the moment, we've got a full team of legends in Dave Anderson, Johnny Maid, and Seb Brown. We've got a ladies' team. We've got Kenny Jade, who's a top goal scorer for the women's first team, and she's going to get two other of her colleagues from that team. Got one of her name, which is Zoe. I've got her surname, apologies, but she...
Wanamaker.
No, I've just been given a name, actually. I do apologise, but I do know her because she actually is a Wimbledon fan who's always in the Chem Flow, standing up watching the football. She always wears...
What else would she be doing in the Chem Flow?
I don't know, but what I mean by that is that I remember seeing a shot of the women ladies team in action. I remember thinking she looks familiar, but yeah. So she's joining. We've got a youth team, which is Michael Robinson, Rob Turvey, and Alfie Egan. Who's going to join the youth team. Premierships, we have Will Nightingale.
Current first team.
Current first team. Will Nightingale's confirmed to me today. He's on holiday. Will Nightingale, he's on holiday until the 11th, and he's back for 4 days, and then going on holiday again.
It's a hard life, isn't it?
So he did promise me that he will get me predictions in. Paul Robinson is off on holiday on Friday. Again, we'll get me predictions, and I'm at the moment negotiating hard to get one other for the Premiership team. Ex-Premiership player, so we've definitely got Chris Perry. I did have communication with Warren Barton, but I've not got anything back yet, and I'm trying to track one other. Podcast team, we've got loads. Who else we got? I'm trying to think now what other teams we've got. Management team. How can I forget our management team? So we've got Simon Bassey, again going on holiday very soon. Neil Cox, who's always on holiday. No, joking. He's joining in. And also I've promoted Trevor Williams to the management team for this one-off occasion. To give Nuardi a break, no doubt, in all seriousness. So, yeah, we've got if you want to go on each morning from Friday morning, you will get on Twitter. We'll show their predictions for the games on that day, and then we run league tables. It's just for fun. It's just for bragging rights. I'm hoping to fill all the teams up. If we don't, then I will probably promote some people for the podcast into the Premiership stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, thought it'd be good to get a bit of a interaction with the players, and they're always more than happy to do that. So hopefully that will go well.
So everyone can follow that on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all those bits and pieces.
All the regular social media outlets.
Nice, at 9YRS Podcast. Also, Paul Remy's been running, will be running a sweepstake, £5 entry. If you're interested, you have to move very, very quickly. We'll need to know this before what time? Say 9 o'clock on Friday morning.
Yeah.
At the very latest. If you're interested in taking part, if we've got spaces that we can squeeze you in, give him an email at paulnray@me.com. I think that's all that needs to be said at this point. I can't remember off the top of my head the prizes, but there will be prizes for the winner and the runner-up, I believe.
Yeah, there are prizes, and then the rest will go into the 9-year podcast. As we all know, we do a free podcast, but there are some little running costs that we're going to hopefully just take some of that and as a contribution.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania is not going to pay for itself next year, is it? I'm not going to. Got to fund it somehow.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
Yeah. Right, brilliant. So just give Paul Raymond an email if you're interested. £5 entry, paulnray@me.com.
It's time for the birthdays game here on the 9 Years Podcast.
3 birthdays, as usual, as has become the norm on this podcast. Which one would you like first, Stu? Celebrity, footballer, or wrestler?
Wrestler.
This is a former Olympic athlete, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And I'll tell you a story. Mark Henry is known as the world's strongest man because he was an Olympic weightlifter. So on his ring attire, he has the letters WSM for world's strongest man, obviously. Every time I look at that, all I can see is Western Super Mayor. So anyway, that's an aside. How old is he turning in June?
Well, the funny thing was, when you said the world's strongest man, I thought, it's 34 because he's obviously Bayo.
Very good, but Bayo's not a wrestler yet.
That confused me.
Yeah.
Does Bayo know he's the world's strongest man?
FIFA's... oh, God, you know what we should put that together. How good would that be? Then Bayo's going to be signed up for the WWE soon enough anyway. They tweeted him and offered him congratulations, so they're after him. So that match could happen if Mark Henry doesn't retire before then, which might give you a clue to his age.
Oh, retirement age. It's got to be 40s then, hopefully. No, they go older than that, don't they? 45.
Wow. Now I know Lorraine's not going to be cheating after last time. She's done it again. This can't be happening, surely.
Seriously, I'm not cheating because I told her off last time.
2 weeks in a row, you're bang on the money, 45.
It's just a vibe. It's just a Wimbledon vibe. Everything we touch turns to gold, isn't it?
Well, let's see if that continues with the next birthday. You've got footballer or celebrity?
Celebrity.
Liz Hurley.
Oh. She's proper old, isn't she?
Oh, wow. Be very careful here, Stu.
She's proper old. The rest of the body's not as old. Sorry.
Oh, dear.
What part of the body we
no, let's just stop.
She's got to be in her 40s as well. Because I don't know why. She's got to be 48.
51.
Yeah.
She's in her 50s.
I think she was over 50, to be fair, but I thought she was on a... She's been around a long while, hasn't she?
She's been around a fair while now.
She was in Austin... Yeah, she's in Austin Powers, wasn't she, in the first movie?
She was, yeah.
So Austin Powers is going back a good what? That one's going back about 20 years.
Close to 20 years. That's scary in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, Liz Hurley and that dress.
Yes. Moving on, because we don't like to perv over females on this podcast, Stu. That's not what we're about.
No, we don't. My fiancé just walked into the room as I was talking about the dress.
There you go. Hi, Paige, if you're listening. Footballer Wesley Sneijder.
Oh, wow. You don't even know. He's 30s. He's 30s, definitely. He's probably 35.
See, I thought he was around that age, but he's actually only 32, which means he packed up his career early, leaving Italy and going to play for whoever, Galatasaray was it, and wherever else he is now.
He must have come through the Ajax system, mustn't he? So he probably got released early. He probably got into that team early.
Yeah, true.
Well, he's like the old Barcelona players. You think they're old like PK and that.
Yeah, and they're still
they are
in their prime.
So early, don't they?
Yeah, true. So there you go.
I think how long Messi's been around. You think Messi should be in his 40s?
Exactly, and he's only 23. We've got a bit of a dilemma, Stu. Birthdays game. We might put it as a poll on Twitter or something. It's the last show of the season. I was thinking about replacing the birthdays game for next season.
With?
Well, I've got some suggestions. I've been brainstorming.
Cool.
Okay, I've got a list of suggested games we could replace the birthdays game with next year. Right, but a lot of them have sort of plays on, well, mostly your name.
Of course.
Some other ones. Do you want to have a list of some of the suggestions I've come up with?
Yeah, why not?
So my first one I had was very simply stew or false. Which is kind of like Would I Lie to You, where you have to come up with a fact about yourself and I have to try and figure out whether it's true or stew or false. That could work.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? How about vegetable stew? In which I basically throw vegetables at you from a distance, and the smaller the vegetable, the more points I get if I hit you.
Right.
I'm thinking like a melon I'd get very little points for, but like a carrot might get a few less, or a pea or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay, moving straight on. Deacon's Blue. See what I've done there? Yeah. Basically, how long you can hold your breath for before you pass out.
Would this have to be at a game?
We could just do it any time of the week, Stu, to be fair. Just film it.
Okay, yeah.
Could do that one.
Interesting suggestion.
Try and beat your time every week. This is my favourite one. Stuart Cash. Which basically means I give you cash, £500 cash, if you can tell me the footballer I'm thinking of that has the name Stuart. In fact, we can have a go at this one now. I will give you £500 cash now if you can tell me which footballer, current or past, retired, that I'm thinking of now with the name Stuart.
Downing.
Nearly, it was Stuart Nethercott.
Really?
Close. Yeah. The old Tottenham player, yeah.
He was ginger as well, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Well, not that should be
you were close, but no cash this time. That could work.
That could do, but then I don't know how many players we got called Stuart.
I'm sure I could find loads.
Yeah, that could work.
It could work. How about this one? I came up with a wrestling-related one. As wrestling, WWE has a match known as the Hell in a Cell match. I thought, Hell in a Cell. They put a giant cage around the ring and the outside of the ring as well. There's no escape, okay?
Is that when Paige walks in?
That would be amazing, but sadly, no, she's not been on one yet. I did a play on this one and came up with, instead of Hell in a Cell, I came up with Hella in a Cellar, in which we lock Ivor into a cellar and just lock him in and see if he can get out, basically.
Yeah, and then hide the key as high as we can get it.
Yeah, exactly. See how long it takes him to escape?
Yeah,
I heard he was up for that one.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be happy to join in.
A couple more. Cocks Out. Basically, I give you
Pardon?
clues to where Neil Cox has been, somewhere in the world, where he's been out and about, and you have to guess through the clues where he's been.
Well, to be fair, with Coxie, it'd probably be a golf course.
I'll leave you. You know him better than I do.
He loves his golf. Anyone who talks to Neil Cox, he loves his golf and plays off a amazing handicap, which I think is enough scratch because of how good he is.
So we could have Cox out on the golf course. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Last one, I didn't really have an idea for this one. I just came up with a name. It was Ian McNation Street. I haven't got an idea for what it might be, though.
Oh dear. Well, at least you've been putting your time off at half term to use, so it's good.
Yeah, I was quite pleased with some of those. So, any of those particular, I think, could be goers to replace the birthdays game? If
I
we
like
replace
the
birthdays
false
game?
one.
Stew or false?
I like that one.
We could try and figure that one out for next season.
Yeah, I think we could do that.
We'll put it on Twitter. We'll put a Twitter poll out. See if we want birthdays back or birthdays gone. We'll see.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to imagine this is going to be the last time we'll be able to do this, though, which is stickers.
Stickers, I know. Is there no like league stickers anymore? Like football league stickers?
Oh, we should so do that. We should get Premier League ones for the new season.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm quite liking this, even though I did come back to my desk and realise that I've got the stickers that I had from last week.
I know. And I just keep forgetting to buy them. But anyway, do you want to have I've got one here. I'm opening it now.
Yeah, I'm just doing the same thing. I've ripped the stickers.
I've got some Hungarians and Poles that I can't pronounce the names of. I've got another
podcast, by the way. This is great podcast action. This is
great. I've got a Cesc Fabregas Santi Cazorla sort of double, the half and half. But I've had that about 3 times now.
Yeah, there are certain ones that they make like thousands of, but the other ones they make tens of.
Well, I've had Kostal Pantilimon 5 times now. When I say that, what I mean is his sticker. I've got 5 versions of his sticker. I've not had him 5 times.
Oh, I've got an English player. That's a sign. Well, it's simple as
depends who it is.
Jack Wilshere.
It's not a sign.
One second. It's just forward over.
There we go.
Oh,
You've ripped it.
I'm happy with Cottonwall. Lukac Kashek, Poland. Where's Hooligan? Sorry, Houlihan.
Yeah.
Ole Gilzev for some team in yellow, Ukraine.
Brilliant.
And I've got, he looks like he's chewing a wash. Wow, he looks like he's well unhappy.
I can't see it's audio.
To be fair, he's Albanian. Amir Abrashli. Oh, do you know what? I've got to put his picture on. He looks like he's chewing a wash, or he basically wants to go and get a number 2.
You have to put that on Twitter.
I'll put it on Twitter. Cool. That's a quality picture. But yeah, Jack Wilshere, he goes into our cotton wall. Stay safe.
And I've got quite a good pack here. I've got Lucas Podolski, Johan Juru, Kyle Lafferty. No, actually, that's a bad one because he played for Rangers, didn't he? And
where is Lafferty now? We had this conversation at work. Is he at Norwich?
Norwich, according to this, yeah.
But then was loaned out, so he didn't play for Norwich.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know where he is now, to be fair, but there we go.
But now he's in the European Championships.
Well, no, Northern Ireland. So 3 games, and then Giorgio Chiellini, who was bitten by Suarez, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Right, I'll just have one more pack. I've got some Slovakian player, Horoshki. I've got a Swiss player, Brel Mbolo. He looks proper cool, though, he does. Looks like Paul Pogba. James McCarthy, Republic of Ireland.
Nice.
Ladislav Kreshik, Czech Republic.
Nice.
And Oleg Shatatov, Russia. Shatatov? No, Shatov. 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 No, it's actually Shatov.
Shatov. Keep saying it.
Bless him, they're going to have fun with his name on the commentary.
They would do, wouldn't they?
Saturday,
to get the old Fantasy Football League back. Have fun with that one.
Oh, Skinner and Badil.
Yeah. The great documentary on the other day with Alan Shearer with going revisiting Euro 96. Yeah, those were the days.
How good were they with Stato in his dressing gown? He was very, very clever as well.
He was like a genius, wasn't he? Like a mentor member, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good... they should have brought that back for the European Championships.
Yeah, they should do.
I love that.
They probably couldn't get away with it now on TV these days. People complain about it.
Did they used to reenact, didn't they, over a local park?
Yeah, the Phoenix and the Flames, yeah.
That's on YouTube. That's a classic.
Stu, why don't we just do that for like classic Wimbledon moments? We could just do Lyle Taylor's goal at Wembley just get some cones, some jackets in the park and reenact it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll be Callum Kennedy.
We used to do a spectacular cross, as he calls it.
Yeah, exactly.
Lyle Taylor with an unbelievable finish.
Yeah.
And everyone noticed, by the way, how many times Lyle Taylor mentions the word unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Whenever he mentions something, unbelievable. But then he's a good lad as well, because when he says, Lorraine, my girlfriend, has a real dislike for people who says 110% or 120%. He always goes 100%.
Good man.
Good man he is, Lyle. But yeah, we could do that.
Could do that. We'll have a think about it. We'll have many thoughts over the summer, I'm sure, before we return for the new season. Now, we're going to be back on the 21st of July. So we're going to have a little bit of a rest.
Thank goodness.
But we are going to have, our coverage will continue, of course, on all our social media websites. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at 9YRS Podcast, and of course the website 9yrspodcast.org. We do have loads of thank yous to do before we sign off for this season. I'm not going to be able to list every single name, but we've got a few that we do have to say big thanks to. So that's going to be my brother Chris, of course, Paul Raymond, your fiancée, Lorraine.
Yes.
For all her hard work. George Jones, who's helped us recently as well. They make up the podcast team, done an amazing job on all our social media sites, as well as helping us out on the podcast as well. So a huge, massive thank you to you guys.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done anything without you. Can't do a show without any listeners. So you've kind of helped us out there, generating a lot of attention for us to boost our listening figures. But also a lot of people at the club that have been very supportive and helping us out in terms of booking space at Kings Meadows to conduct many of the interviews we've had. David Charles has been particularly helpful for us. Trevor Williams, of course, very, very helpful. But Stu, you've sort of been the man dealing more to do with the club and organising these things.
Yeah, there's been loads, to be fair. Chris Lavin at the club, obviously our media person. Jim Piddington, who does the marketing with the rooms. Dave Charles, Trevor and Robin Rocket, for people who know him. Trev's been absolutely brilliant in terms of, I know I do name drop here and there, but Trevor, trust me, Trevor is the go-to man. Everyone knows Trevor and loves Trevor, so yeah, really pleased with him. James Lonsdale has been on there. Ray Armfield for always making me look so stupid with the free word. Matt Support. There's been loads. I'm trying to think now.
Well, just to touch on
this. Supportive, just as you said before, it's really nice when we go around the club, especially on the end of the season at the ground. People just saying thank you for the podcast, makes it all worthwhile. So thank you all.
Yeah, and big thanks to Jane, who her role on the Dons Trust board has been very, very supportive of us getting things sorted with the Dons Trust and linking with them. We want to be working more with the Dons Trust next season as well. So, and thank you to all the Dons Trust prospective candidates that appeared on the show, and we interviewed you. Thanks to the former and current players that have appeared as well. So Will Nightingale for speaking to us, Jake Reeves, Seb Brown, Terry Brown, Dave Anderson, John Main, Danny Kedwell, Mark DeBolla, all of you that have spoken to us. We've got people like Mark Davis in there. We had Louis Smith, who was a Forest Green Rovers fan that came on the podcast. We've had loads of people. Jeff Hawley, Mikey T and Rob, who have appeared on the show. Jeff, who's been very supportive with helping us out with our technical things as well. Thanks for your support, your kind words. And as you say, Stu, everyone that's been sort of very supportive of the podcast as well. There's loads of you out there. We know you're listening. Sharon and Lukey and Tudor and all those. So thank you very, very much.
And just one you forgot. You forgot one of the big ones, Mr. John Green himself.
Who?
Mr. John Green.
Yes, John Green, big sponsor of the club, and Rosianna, who is his sort of media partner and things, does bits and pieces. Absolute pleasure working with you two this season, and we look forward to seeing you again next season as well. Goes for everyone. That brings us to the end, Stu.
Wow, what a season. What a season.
What a season. I'm just thinking, what's the best way to sign off?
I don't know. To be fair, I'm going to get a pillar because I'm absolutely shattered. Yeah, I don't know. What's the best way for you to sign off? Say goodbye?
I think we just have, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. I think we just have to say, just a reminder, July 21st we'll be back, and then end it in a sort of big way. We don't want to look unprofessional, do we? We don't want it just to cut off sort of mid